That's right. Today we're making ravioli. It's very simple lamb and cottage cheese ravioli. They didn't have ricotta at Aldi, so I just got the closest thing, which is good enough. We're all for experimentation here, for doing different stuff. We love that shit here. Basically, it's just going to be a lamb and ricotta ravioli with a very simple tomato sauce. So yeah, come along. We got all the ingredients here. We got the tomato, bay leaves, that's important for flavour. Onion, just one onion. We've got some cottage cheese, eggs for making the ravioli. We got lamb mince, MSG, garlic, critical, flour. That's basically it, so let's get cooking.
So we're just beginning by chopping the onions, just going in for a nice little horizontal slice across, and then coming down with very narrow vertical slices. This prepares it to be very easily be cubed. See, now that I just sliced straight down, perpendicular to those previous vertical cuts that I cut, it just creates a bunch of really nice and fine diced onions. It makes it much, much quicker to do. Just makes it faster. Then we're going in with the garlic. We're going to just nick the ends off so it makes it easier to get the skins off when we smack the crap out of the garlic and squish them. Then we're going to take all the skins off. It's the fiddly part. I don't enjoy it. It's annoying. And then we just, with the big cleaver, just, slicing up nice and thinly. I mean, it probably would have been easier to have switched over to my other knife, but, I couldn't really be bothered. And also, I really like using this knife as a Christmas present from Mum. And, yeah. Now, chuck some olive oil in there, then we're going to chuck the lamb in, and we're just going to break it apart. We're just going to, use the spatula, get in there, just get it as, small as we can, because we don't want it to cook in those big clumps, because then we're going to have some chunks with pink bits on it. We're just, smacking it over and over to separate it all up. So right, in this next spot, you're going to notice my fuck up. So, I wasn't supposed to do this. This is what you normally do if you're making a bolognese or something like that. But I'm not making a bolognese, I'm making ravioli. So my original intention was to put the lamb, the ricotta, and also the spinach all together into the ravioli parcels. But I just sort of forgot that I was doing that, and by the time I realized my fuck up, it was too late, and I had already browned the lamb. So essentially what we're going to do instead, we're just going to take the lamb that's been browned, we're going to chuck it in with the tomato sauce, and we're just going to have basically a lamb bolognese off to the side to have with our spinach and cottage cheese ravioli. So that's what we're doing now. We're gonna try and correct this mistake or make the most of it, and it's fine, it's all good, I swear everything's gonna be good. Anyway, so we've got a bunch of cottage cheese. It didn't have ricotta, so we just went with that. We're chopping up a bunch of basil. I think just going in with my cleaver and just making sure I don't chop tips of any of my fingers off. This is not foreshadowing. And just chop. Reasonably fine, moderately fine. It doesn't really matter. If it's a little bit chunky, it'll be fine. Just chop. You can hear the rainbow lorikeets in the background commenting on my cutting skills. Chop. I'm just gonna mix the basil in with the cottage cheese. Simple as that. And got a taste test, of course. Fucking love cottage cheese. So yummy. Now we're going to flour our work surface, now we're going to begin making the pasta. So start by mounding a bunch of flour onto the table. I wasn't very accurate. Gonna put some salt in. And then we're gonna crack a few eggs. We're going to do mostly yolks. They're supposed to just do yolks, but you end up seeing me putting in some whites later on because it wasn't really binding as nicely as I would have liked it to, and I had run out of eggs. Then we're just going to mix all the yolks together, incorporating in the flour, trying to make sure the whole little structure doesn't collapse and let the eggs slide out. Yeah, now we're just getting in there with our hands, just squish, 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 just adding a little bit of water in there just to help give it a little bit more moisture because it was too dry. Then I chucked in a little bit more white because it still was just not binding, a bit too dry. And I was thinking, oh shit, what do I do? But I just, yeah, good enough.
Fucking good enough.
Then we're going to roll it out with my favourite rolling pin that I got from Tasmania. It's a beautiful piece of Huon pine. Oh, I love Huon pine so much. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. Basically, I'm just rolling it out. Just roll. Just firing the surface to make sure that my rolling pin doesn't stick down. Rolling it out. I really probably should have left it rest for a bit longer. Well, probably for a lot longer because it was just a bit tough to... Yeah, it was a bit resistant to being worked with, but that's fine. Now I'm tucking in the filling, just a small dollop. So I'm putting my fingers in egg white before, like, putting it around the edges of the ravioli pastry pieces. And act as a bit of a glue to help stick everything together.
Oh, ravioli. Beautiful sauce. And the ravioli is a-cooking. And here we have the final product. Look at that. So fucking hot. That's good. I was a bit worried about how it would turn out because, you know, the ravioli is actually just filled with cottage cheese and basil instead of the lamb and cottage cheese and basil, but I think it turned out really well. Anyway, cheers. Hope you enjoy.